I decided to do my project on Petra, the lost city. Petra is a historical and archaeological city in the southern Jordan government of Ma'an. Petra was originally known as Rakhmu. Another name for Petra was the Rose City due to the color of stone which it is carved out of. It was originally established as early as 1312 BC as the capital city of the Arab Nabateans. Pera is a symbol of Jordan and is Jordan's most visited and most popular tourist attraction. Pera lies on the slope of Jabal al-Maba in the basin of its mountains. Something interesting about Petra is that this site was unknown to the Western world until 1812. Johann Ludwig Burckhardt was the first Swiss explorer and the first ever to introduce Petra. He described it as a rose-red city, half as old as time. UNESCO has described it as one of the most precious cultural properties of man's cultural heritage. Petra was also named one of the seven wonders of the world in 2007. The Nabateans worshipped Arab gods and goddesses as well as some of their kings. Many statues of Pera, of the opening structure, have carved images that depict these gods and goddesses. There is also evidence that Nabatean theology had a strong link and ties to sun and earth relationships, often manifested in an orientation of prominent Petra structures to equinox and solstices, sunrises and sunsets. Although there is definite evidence of pagan worship, Christianity also found its way to Petra in the 4th century AD. During the First Crusades, Petra was occupied by Baldwin I of the Kingdom of Jerusalem and formed the second fief of the barony of Al-Karak. It remained in the hands of the Franks until 1189. It has a lot of tradition behind it as well. According to Arab tradition, Petra is the spot where Moses struck a rock with his staff and water came forth, and where Moses' brother Aaron is buried at Mount Hor, known today as Mount Aaron. The city of Petra has a lot of ties to the people there and is very important to everyone. It is one of the most beautiful places in the world, and it is one of the seven wonders. It is definitely a place to see.
Centered in a natural oasis, Jericho, slightly north from the Dead Sea and west of the Jordan River, is considered the oldest inhabited city, with its visitors arriving as early as 10,000 and 9,000 BC. Its many springs of fresh water were the perfect attraction for the desert. Till this day, the legendary city from the Bible still inhabits descendants from the first visitors. My focus for my presentation will be on its walls. To prepare for this presentation, I read a book called Excavations of Jericho. It described the structure of the Pioneer Wall that explained the struggle of the fastest growing city in the Mediterranean at the time. At first, archaeologists dug through the mud bricks of the wall without realizing what it was, suggesting there was little of interest in the site. In 1907 and 1909, they found the remains of two walls, which they initially suggested supported the biblical account. They later revised the conclusion and dated their first findings to the Middle Bronze Age from 1950 to 1515 BC. This time period was thereafter called the Pre-Pottery Neolithic a late phase of the Stone Age, predating the invention of pottery, and the wall considered part of the early Proto-City. It surrounded and protected the Neolithic settlement, which contained and organized a community of between 2,000 and 3,000 people. The Neolithic wall was complemented by a stone tower built into it. The wall is thought to have been built in order to prevent floods and the tower used for ceremonial purposes, but the height of the wall, at 12 to 17 feet high, suggests a defensive purpose as well. Furthermore, the construction of such a project implies some sort of social organization, division of labor, and classes. Surrounding the wall was a ditch 27 feet wide and 9 feet deep, cut through solid bedrock with a circumference around the town of as much as 600 meters or 2,000 feet. In fact, evidence suggests that construction started prior to the agricultural revolution. The town contained round mud brick houses, yet no street planning. Despite the existence of the wall and tower, Jericho was a proto-city. Speculation persists about the purpose of the tower, and it may have only had several purposes. In an article in the Jerusalem Post, archaeologist Rand Barkai argued that the structure was used to create awe and inspiration to convince people into a harder way of life with the development of agriculture and social hierarchies. It's believed this wall and tower were once mechanisms to motivate people to take part in communal lifestyle. Thank you for tuning in, folks.